Let me pose a question. What would happen if you took A Place Further Than the Universe, mixed it with Bocchi the Rock, and maybe added a Call of the Night level aesthetic? You'd more or less get Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night, episode 1. The thing is, sure, we're not going on some big trip to a land away from home. Sure. Maybe we won't get into quite as social anxiety issues as Bocchi the Rock, but we do got the music side, seemingly. And yeah, maybe we won't go as hard as something like Call of the Night does with some of its nighttime aesthetics. But there's elements of all three of those shows in this wonderful new show called Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night. We have 2 out of 4 seemingly listed main characters introduced this episode, one of the supporting members as well, and what we ended up getting was we get introduced to one girl, very skilled with art, beautiful murals, very talented, could go very far with her talents, feeling like she can't. She's underappreciated, undervalued, and just, we go do the studies, we go do the exams, we go do all these mundane tasks and live a life that makes us miserable. And then we have a girl who used to be a part of some idol group who altercation happened, drama occurred, hands were thrown, completely different look now, but still trying to pursue music. Loves to make lyrics, but can't really do the music side by herself. Probably where one of the other members are going to come in. You have a show called Jellyfish Can't Swim the Night. I thought was either just something literal translation from a Japanese name to this, or it just was a bunch of words thrown together. Actually, one of the most clever names in recent times, because the idea that jellyfish can't swim in the night is a literal thing, and how it lights up, but most importantly, jellyfish can't swim alone, and this is clearly a show all about people coming together from a couple different walks of life, but building something special together and tackling these new changes in their life together. This is actually incredible. The production, the Sakaga goes hard. Like, the performance at the end alone, you felt like a drone flying around as she was performing on this acoustic guitar. Incredible. But the overall quality of this, yeah, they got some seductive shots. We're not going to deny that. They got scenes where characters are bending over and hanging on to that for a while, but they know what they're doing. They know how to sell those Blu-rays. And I can respect the hustle, but this is a show that actually wears its heart on its sleeve, that says, these vulnerabilities, these insecurities, so many people go through that and feel like they are alone. And I think certain shows like A Place Further Than the Universe, or even Bocchi the Rock, and how it tackles these very vulnerable sides to people, and how it lets it light up into this very special atmosphere. There is something special here, and please, for the love of God, don't sleep on it. I know Saturdays are going to be busy. This is a unique Saturday because a lot of stuff starts next week, and stuff like My Hero doesn't start for a month. Please try this. It's not going to be for everyone. Nothing will be. But there's something special here. I don't know what's going on in the poster. There's some weird thing floating in the sky that could just be a mascot we designed. That's possible. Maybe it goes even crazier. But if it stays with what I just saw with episode 1, and that's the hook, I'm here for the full ride. Now, of course, I have a full live reaction to episode 1 of Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night over on my Patreon if you want to see my full uncut thoughts. They're over there if you're interested. So this is one that initially I had no interest in. I just skimmed over it. Then I saw a little bit of buzz. I read into it and I said, oh, I don't know what it is, but this kind of gives me A Place Further Than the Universe vibes. And watching it, I get those vibes even more. People, whenever you make comparisons of shows, people love to say, that makes no sense, it doesn't feel like this at all. That's fine if you disagree, but like, I use these comparisons because for me, this is the best way to represent some of my feelings, because this is a slow burn first episode. This is a calm level of hype you get from something like this. And you don't get to say that for about shows like these often, because you get a lot of shows about changes in your life, finding yourself, school's about to end. You get a lot of those shows, but very few hit like this. And honestly, in recent memories, Place Further Than the Universe, Bocchi the Rock are some of the rare cases that did. And the idea that you have, I think this is going to be one of my favorite scenes of this entire anime season, if I'm going to be honest. And it's the performance at the end, but it's not just because of the performance, it's what she does to the art on the wall. So, the intro to these two becoming kind of friends, it's kind of like stepbrothers. Like, did we just become best friends? I think we did, because that's pretty much what happens by the end. So, there's this idol, this girl, who keeps performing in front of the jellyfish mural that she made when she was younger. She always puts her posters up and basically kind of defiles it from their point of view. And obviously she wishes that she could say, stop doing that to my art, this or that, but she doesn't have that oomph, that confidence to do so. In comes our other character who says, I like that art, stop being a bitch, is pretty much what she does. And I love it because they end up like, hey, I'm the one who made this. Oh, I love your art. You should do art for me. Like, and then it evolves into this, like, you know, we have exams to do. We can't waste our time playing kids anymore. Like, that's how society wants us to be. Anyway, next day, make up. They realize, like, hey, you know what? I'm going to show you something. She picks up this acoustic guitar, yeets the idol out of here, and she's performing. And the performance is incredible. Like, the animation, it felt like we were literally a drone with a GoPro flying around her as she's performing. Very Bocchi the Rock's vibes. It was incredible. She runs in, though, rips the poster off the wall, but that's where it doesn't end. She adds this face to it, which is so touching because the whole point of that scene is about how they appreciate the art as it is. And it's almost like, you know, we go at it alone. I'm going to be a singer, you're going to be an artist. That's great. But jellyfish can't swim alone. They do things together. Prior to this scene, we learn that she has this little cute design. It's like this jellyfish, this little chibi mascot thing, and that's for her. Like, that's her. She adds that face to her drawing, and it shows such a level of connection in the middle of that song. And you can just immediately tell the type of chemistry and how they're going places together. And they're going to tackle so many different things together. And whether or not, you know, they all make it as a band or whatever they're going to do, there's something about that level of chemistry and that vulnerability and intimacy that was so beautiful to witness with such beautiful lighting. Sometimes the wide shots kind of look like a pastel watercolor-like painting. It's just, if you've seen Call of the Night, you understand why I'm using that as a reference. Because that's like one of the rare cases where the nightlife is like, oh, it lights up, it's beautiful, it's stunning, right? There was something so, like, emotional, vulnerable, sweet, but also it wore those insecurities, like almost wearing your heart on a sleeve. It wore the insecurities of these two characters on their sleeve, while also showing them as more than just those insecurities. Yeah, there's the fear of not being able to be appreciated for your art, or maybe being able to do that, focus on that as a career. Yeah, there's the, can I even try again after the first type of music situation for me fell apart? But it's all about continuing to have that passion, have that drive, and the way the characters interact with each other. Maybe it is just me, but it reminds me a lot about how the characters in A Place Further Than the Universe talk to each other. And that's one of my favorite anime that has come out in the past decade or so. It was so good. It really was. And you don't get to see shows like these too often. You get the overall idea of a show like this we see often, but the execution of one to this high of degree, with this reel of chemistry and emotions, and just how the animation, the directing, the music, and the voice actors, like, even the character designs. Look at the character designs on this show. The central two don't really look like, oh, this reminds me of so-and-so. Sure, if you really go down a list, I'm sure you can, but it doesn't immediately come to mind because they actually feel like their own individual people. You kind of get where I'm coming from, I hope. Like, I'm not saying this is going to be everyone's anime of the season, but shit, this could end up becoming mine. Up to this point, the most interesting shows, like in terms of just pure raw creativity, the Train to the End of the World and this. Up to this point though, my favorite first episode was Windbreaker. I just loved the better version of Tokyo Revengers. But this is my new number one. It could change, we're still in the thick of getting all these new shows. But that was good. Let me know what you thought of episode 1. Are you going to check out episode 2 next week? Let me know down below. Want to see more reviews? Let me know. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new around here. Of course, ring that bell so you get notified when I upload more. And like I mentioned, we have a full live reaction over on my Patreon. And hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. So we got Silent Ghost, Gummy, XEXE, TyClick, Kyle Tolbert, and Tajwer Ishin Hawk. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.